Welcome back to another episode of Aftermath. I'm your host, Dan KATHMAN, and I'm joined here with three of the guests from Surviving Mann. Again, I love seeing you guys. It's fantastic.
Nice to see you.
Aly, Liberte, Dr. Jenn, thank you so much.
We love seeing you too.
It's great. So this week's episode, a lot happened, and it's called Rolling the Dice.
Why are you looking at me like that?
I feel like you have something to say about that.
Oh boy, I do. Should we talk about the fun part first or rolling the dice?
We can talk about the fun part first. What's the fun
Okay.
part? Let's talk about that.
All right, so the fun part was navigating through desert arroyo or canyon with these really, really beautiful rifles, really like precision rifles.
Yeah.
Uncle Sam's Misguided Children.
Yeah, it was cool. We started
Rifles.
inside of a tunnel, as you guys saw, and then we weren't told where the targets were going to be, but we were timed, which was pretty cool. I had a lot of I don't know, something was going on, but I think it was what I was doing. So I had to try it a few times, like a few meaning like 5 or 6, but it was fun. It was really cool, and the guns were awesome.
The canyon was one of my favorite
Yeah?
obstacles that we did. It was so fun. It just kind of getting through the canyon and doing the little moves and stuff. It was a lot of fun.
And every hit you could hear, it'd be like ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding.
That's great.
Right, because it was on steel. So what was really fun is you'd move through the canyon and you'd have to identify the targets as you went. And they weren't revealed until you actually got to that part of the canyon. But these, I want to go back to the rifles really quick because I've never shot, I've only shot like stock rifles. And these things had a really nice trigger. And so nice, I wasn't used to it. And so on the first target, I pulled the trigger, and normally I just do this really easy release, but the way the way this trigger was, I actually hit the target 3 times. I didn't even know it. I was so amped up. So I hit it 3 times, and I hit it a 4th time. And so I got to the very end. I hit the last target, but then I went to fire another round because you're supposed to hit each target twice, and I ran out of ammo. So,
Oh, wow.
but it was really cool. It was so fun.
Sensitive triggers, right?
So good.
Right. That's
Yeah,
great.
so good.
Yeah, they got more fun, I guess, as the days went by.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
very cool.
So, roll the dice. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so we kind of talked in a previous show about how I had absolutely blown up on the navigation course, and so I was
Right.
really far behind in points and was going to do whatever they asked me to do. And the challenge was quite difficult. So we were up on top of a mesa shooting down into the desert, and this target was 700 meters away. And I have never shot anything beyond 100 meters. And so I was like, wow, this is crazy. And the wind was blowing so hard, it was moving the table around. And I'm thinking, oh boy, this is going to be rough. But I had already committed to it, and I would do it again. So I fired my round, and it was kind of a split decision. We didn't have a spotter that day. So the first answer was that I hit it, and I was jumping around like Tigger, like usual, and super happy. And then someone else said they thought it skipped, and so
Yeah.
I was deflated.
I think I got a question for you that I think maybe a lot of laymen here don't really understand. Maybe you can answer. So you're often talking meters and clicks, right? And most people don't know what the hell that means. So what is it? Can you give us like how long is a click away? Do you know?
So that's like a kilometer.
A kilometer?
So yeah. So one click is 1 kilometer.
Okay.
So it's 0.62 miles. So that's how we typically think in land navigation. So they'll say 6 clicks this way, and you'll count off your steps and learn how to navigate like that. And you have like a little system of beads or stones or whatever you use, and you'll be able to count off how far you've gone.
Wow, interesting.
Meanwhile, while that was happening and they came back, they weren't allowed to tell us how they did, or anything about the challenge that they just did. So we didn't know, and I know I had a feeling on how I would do the next day, so I assumed that I might potentially have to do it, and I wanted to try to find out any information I could about it, but they weren't allowed to tell us what happened, so we didn't really know if that put her ahead, for example, or if that put her behind.
Right.
And you know, the other really cool thing about the challenge was that we didn't know what kind of weapon we'd be shooting. We didn't know, we had no idea the wind conditions up there were what they were. we didn't know what kind of optic we would have. We wouldn't know if it was supported, like if we were just going to be in a prone position versus having like some sort of a stabilizing mechanism like a tripod.
Right.
And so you really go into it blind, truly rolling the dice. It was really cool.
I heard you might have had some luck with it. Were you lucky in the that?
Well, I thought I was.
You thought you were.
So 3 people said I was, and so I jumped up and was super happy. And then someone said, "No, we think it skipped," and so taken away. But I think honestly, I don't think I hit it. So that would have been a hell of a shot.
Yeah, it would. Seriously. So surprise, secrecy. I mean, not really anymore. We have another challenge for you. And guess what? It involves guns. So I'm super excited about this. Let's get into it and check it out. Welcome to today's challenge. We're here with Sean from SAR USA, and he's going to tell us what the challenge is going to be today.
Thanks, Dan. We just brought the ladies out today really to test these firearms out, show that they are pretty much flawless in accuracy and dependability. That's why they're called SAR USA, safe, accurate, reliable. We're going to run through a 10 steel shot challenge today just to mainly test the firearms out.
Awesome.
Cool. Great.
Sounds good.
Go.
Okay. Up.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Okay. On the command of up, you will engage the red target.
Yes, sir.
Up!
Shit. Yep. Sorry.
On the command of up, engage the red target. Up! Drop the magazine.
Wow, I gotta say, we've done this 6 times so far, and I'm really impressed with y'all shooting. It's fantastic.
So, I mean, I've always felt like pistol's not my strength. Even coming into this competition, I knew that that was something for me. I've had surgery on my eyes and things like that, having issues with cross-dominant eyes. So that's always been an issue for me, but I feel like my shooting has improved so much more since having been on the show and doing these courses. So it's been great to be around such great teachers.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think we always love pistol. So I
Yeah.
think that was a fun challenge.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe you guys can elaborate just a little bit on the difference of, like, so people who don't know anything about guns are guns, but very different situation from shooting a pistol, shooting a rifle, shooting a shotgun. So, like, can you, and especially doing these challenges and stuff, what's the main difference with pistols?
So pistols are self-defense, more self-defense related. I mean, that's why you have one. That's why you carry one.
Right.
And learning to be proficient with one is just about being able to protect yourself in a situation.
Right.
So they're also fun. I mean, there's competitive shooting and there's lots of fun things you can do with pistols as well.
Right.
But the main reason would be self-defense. I think you guys would agree with that.
Yeah, and especially concealed carry. I mean, I think that most people would agree that a rifle or a shotgun is much better for home defense, and it's a lot easier to hit your target. But I agree. I think everyone should be proficient with at least a long gun and a handgun.
Agreed.
Right.
I think women especially should know how to use all types of guns. And the reason I think that is just because if you're ever in a self-defense situation and you don't know how to use a gun that may be available to you there, then you're in a bad situation.
Right.
And then, there are lots of considerations about what type of weapon to have at home. So some people really like shotguns, but they're pretty devastating. You're either going to use double-aught buck, so you've got 9 pellets that are basically like 9 9mm rounds. You're just going
Gets
Right.
messy.
Right.
or a slug, which is huge. So you have to be really careful about what's behind that wall and what you're going to destroy. And so some people think that a rifle is better for home defense, like a 5.56 round, because once it hits something, the bullet starts to tumble and it'll stop faster. So, if you have kids in the house or something like that,
Or neighbors close
or
by.
neighbors, like, you have to really think about what type of round you're using, and that might be another reason why you'd use a handgun in a really heavily populated area, in like an apartment or something like that.
My personal carry is a Glock 43. What do you carry?
Glock 19.
I have so many guns, it's hard to choose. Like, really, I've got Glocks and SIGs and Springfield. So
What do you carry on a daily basis?
It depends. So if I'm trail running, I'll use like a Glock 43.
Of course, you trail runs.
But I also like there's
great.
a weapon called the Hellcat. And
Oh, I
it's-
love the Hellcat.
And it's got a red dot on it. Do you know what a red dot is?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So it's got a red dot and this diffuser. It's just like the coolest. I can't get my hands on one, but I can't wait. So I like to keep a variety of weapons.
That's awesome. Well, so one more episode. We got a couple more episodes left. We're about halfway through the season right now. Let's talk about episode number 7 coming up. Can you tell us anything?
So going
about
into
this?
it, I know we had talked about how we needed to work on our PT and be strong on the PT if we wanted to continue to do well in the competition. So there will be some PT for
Okay.
sure.
All right.
And I know that it was a big episode for Liberty and some fears of yours.
Oh.
Yeah, I had to face my fear again in the next episode. I won't
Okay.
say what that is. Or,
Okay.
There was a
But-
big
Facing
thing
fears?
that we all kind of thought and saw from when you pull in to front sight that we might have to do. And we were kind of just waiting for the day that we had to do it.
And then we also had an opportunity for another optional challenge to gain back some points.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very.
Interesting. A lot of mystery. I don't suspense. I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds fun.
It's fun. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining me again. It's great having you. You're like co-hosts now. This is fantastic. Thank you guys so much for joining us. This is Aftermath. I'm your host, Dan KATHMAN, and come back and see us.